Look around you. Here in the 7th Cavalry, we have a captain from the Ukraine and another from Puerto Rico. We have Japanese, Chinese, blacks, Hispanics, Cherokee Indians, Jews and Gentiles. All Americans. Now, some men in this unit may face discrimination because of race or creed. But for you and me now, that is gone. We are moving into the valley of the shadow of death, where you will watch the back of the man next to you as he will watch yours. And you won't care what color he is, what race he is, or by what name he calls God. They say that we're leaving home. We're going into what home was always supposed to be. So let's try and understand the situation. We're going into battle against a tough and determined enemy. And I can't promise that I can bring you all back alive. But this, I swear, before you, before Almighty God, that I will be the first to set foot onto that field, and I will be the last to step off. And I will leave no one behind. Dead or alive, we are all coming home together. So help me God.
Please stand for the presentation of the flags, followed by the singing of the national anthem by Kara Fisk.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Welcome to our 11th annual Hour with the Heroes ceremony. We are pleased to introduce to you members of the 82nd Airborne Division: Matthew Scott, Chris Lyle, Robert Sanchez, James McLaughlin, Richard Ferris, and James Maxwell.
These honorable young men are from the 82nd Airborne Division and are proud alumni from Springdale High School. We are excited to have them share their stories with you, so please give them a warm welcome.
Thank you, Har-Ber High School, for taking the time to recognize veterans around the world who have served our country, and we really appreciate the gesture. We'd also like to pay respect to the veterans from our class at Springdale High School who are not here with us today, of which we have 3 other members of the 82nd Airborne Division from our Springdale High School class. Now, what you may not know that is unique about our high school class is that we were friends at Springdale High School. And perhaps like you, as you look around to your left and to your right and you think about the friends that you've made, imagine if you kind of felt the call to serve your country, and in this case, serve the Army and have the opportunity to be a member of the 82nd Airborne Division, and then with our colleague James Maxwell, be a Army Green Beret and serve in the Special Forces community. So we are grateful for the opportunity to speak to you. And in fact, we have a group of Har-Ber students. Would you mind standing up, please? The Har-Ber students that have been selected. And if you would, if you'll just remain standing, there's a reason why we ask these students to stand. Every day, 22 military veterans commit suicide. So we want to pay our respects to our brothers and sisters who have come home and who have not found rest. And we want to salute all of the veterans every day, 22 military veterans a day who take their own life. So thank you for standing. Now, as I mentioned, all of us attended Springdale High School together. We all had a dream of kind of following a grand adventure. And so if you can imagine what that reality would be like for you as you look around to your left and your right and you have 7 or 8 buddies. And so for us, we were all had the privilege of serving in the 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Now, for you who came to school today, did most of you commute by car, or did you come by bus, or would you say that most of you drove to work today? Or came to school today by car? Well, we want to show you how we made our commute to work. Cue video. So not a bad commute. Airborne all the way, sir. So listen, we are just privileged to be here today. We thought, what could add the most value for you today, just at this season of life that you're in, and just the decisions that you're making for the rest of your life. And we thought that what might be most valuable is if each of us gave you a perspective of if we could go back and speak to our 18-year-old self on Veterans Day, what would we tell ourselves? We get the question all the time as veterans that as we look upon our military service, what is it that we learn from our military service? And so I'd like to have each of us have the opportunity to say that. My name is Matthew Scott. I Graduated Springdale High School in 1982, and I received an athletic scholarship to attend Wentworth Military Academy. Upon graduation, I was commissioned as second lieutenant in the regular Army, and I had the privilege to serve in the 197th Infantry Brigade, the 82nd Airborne Division, and my last tour of duty was with Joint Special Operations Command. Together, you're going to hear about those of us who have had a number of different deployments to different countries, both in peacetime, and then some of us have also had combat deployments as well. So just a little bit about my background. Before I turn this over to my colleagues, I will answer the question that I posed to you. If I was speaking to my 18-year-old self today on Veterans Day, and we were you, we were at an old gym at Springdale High School, and every Veterans Day we would have people who would come and speak to us and share wisdom. And at the time, we would view their service and their sacrifice, and we didn't really know how to position it because we were still, getting ready to begin the next chapter of our life. And so for me, if I was speaking to myself right in the middle of that audience, if I was sitting there, what I would say to myself is the advice that I received, which has followed me my whole life, is Matthew, are you living a great story? And when you ask yourself if you're living a great story, you will fill your life with chapters of adventure and sacrifice and responsibility and experience and happiness. And you'll be able to go through times of uncertainty and sorrow. And so as I face myself today at the age of 52, and when I ask myself, it's the same question that I would pose as 18. Matthew, are you living a great story? Thank you.
Hello. Hey, my name is Chris Lyle, and I graduated in 1983 from Springdale High School, and I was not a good student in high school. I was a daydreamer at best. That was the best thing I did, was sit around, look out a window, and wish that I was somewhere else, because I wasn't good in school. I struggled in school. I struggled with my attention in school. I got in trouble a lot in school, and didn't get along well with my teachers, faculty. That caused problems for me at home, right? It always does. But I dreamed of other places. I saw we had a big world, and I just wanted to be anywhere else but where I was. And the Army seemed like the ticket to do that. And 6 months later, I was jumping out of airplanes. I was doing all that stuff you saw in the video. I've been to Rome. I've been to London. I've been to Berlin. I've been to Istanbul. I've been to Paris. I've been to at least over 6 different countries in the military. So I saw all those things. I wanted to see something different, and I saw other places. But the biggest thing I saw I wasn't expecting to see. So Matthew says, what did we learn? What did we learn? So I wanted to see all these great places and do all these great things, but what did I see? What did I learn by being a long way from home? I looked in people's eyes and I saw their hearts. I saw people's hearts. I wanted to see the world, but what did I see? I saw people's hearts. I'd never seen in someone's eyes and looked in their heart when you're freezing on a cold mountain Alp in Italy. I learned to judge people by whether I could depend on them. I look down here now with our color guard. We got every race and ethnicity and gender represented. I don't see a female soldier sitting there. What do I see now at 52 years old? I judge her by whether she can pull the trigger, whether she can keep up with me, whether I can depend on her, whether she has courage. I don't see a black soldier or a Hispanic soldier. I see soldiers. I see in their hearts. I went to countries that you can't protest anything. I've seen a Turkish soldier punch a 10-year-old kid right in the face as hard as you'd hit an adult man because it's okay over there. It's not okay over here. So I see people in a way that I never saw them before. I see our country in a way that I never appreciated for the first 18 years of my life. It made me proud to wear that American flag on my shoulder, like you guys are wearing today. I wasn't proud of that before. I wanted to be somewhere else. I dreamed of being somewhere else, But when you go somewhere else and you look in the hearts and the eyes of the people that you're with, and you finally see people, guess where I dreamed of being? I dreamed of being back here in this country. I hope you guys dream. I hope you dream big, like Matthew said. I hope you write your own story. But the bigger you dream, the harder you got to work for it. And guess what? You're not going to be the same person when you get there. Thank you very much.
Can you hear that? There you go. Is everybody doing all right? I'm Robert Sanchez. I was graduated high school in 1983, just like these guys. We were all friends, like they said, back in high school. We talked about what would I say to myself if I were sitting there right now. This is what I would say for sure, and this is what I did. And I would say, hey, you know what? You need to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with good people of vision, with people of values, with people with ambition. You see these guys? They were all my friends in high school. I surrounded myself with them. Now, I want to tell you, you see the berets they're wearing right there. There are different reasons why the military chooses to put people in berets, but I'll tell you the real reason. You see those red and green berets right there? The reason why they're wearing them is because the Army said, hey, I want to put these people apart. I want everybody to know who they are, because you know why? They're the dangerous ones. They don't care. These guys used to jump out of perfectly good airplanes. Hey, you know what? These are the ones, they have all those things, but they're not real smart, and we want you guys to know the smart ones versus the rest, all right? These guys aren't the smart ones. They jumped out of good airplanes. But like I said, hey, you need to make sure you're surrounding yourself with good people, people of vision, and people with ambition, and people with good values. What I'd like to do for just a second, are there any people, young high schoolers out there right now that have already joined the military? If you are, hey, this is your opportunity, okay? You all are still in high school, stand up for me, please. Anybody else? This is your opportunity. Hey, come on now. The military is about leadership, and this is your opportunity. Keep standing for a second. Is there anybody out there who is already committed to go to some kind of military academy? Anybody else? Anybody out there? Okay. Would you stand up, please? Is there anybody out there that is looking and thinking about going into the military? Go ahead and stand up for me, please. Hey, listen, you know what? We did our part. That's where we've been. We've already done all that. But I want you to look around. Those of you that are sitting, I want you to look around at those people that are standing. Those are the people right there. They're going to stand on the wall between freedom and tyranny, right there. So I'd like you to give them a round of applause. Thank you. We appreciate what you are going to do for us. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is James McLaughlin. I graduated from Springdale High in 1982. And I bet you're looking at me going, how in the heck did that guy get through the door? That guy's tall. Yeah, it's amazing what they can get through a door at 1,000 feet with the wind rushing by. Gravity works too, by the way. What I just wanted to throw out there is, you know, when I got out of high school, I was working at McDonald's, doing anything and everything there, and that just really wasn't a goal of mine. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do in college, so I really didn't want to commit to college, to something that I didn't know if I even wanted to do later on in life. So I got to thinking about it. I was like, you know, I think I'll just join the military. What the heck? Be all I can be. Hey, I like to jump out of airplanes. Let's try to do that. Well, I hadn't done it at the time yet, but I learned real quick that I was going to. But besides that, got to see the world. You get to see the world. That's pretty much a given anymore these days. Like Chris, I saw Istanbul, Paris, London, Berlin, west and east. That was before the wall came down. And I think there's even a picture that's going to pop up at some point of me standing on the East Berlin side, about a block and a half from Hitler's bunker. Yeah, just to take in what you need to get to, what you're going to learn and strive to be, what your goals are in life. going through the military like that, it helped me realize how to set goals, how to go to accomplish your goals, what it would take to be able to be a leader, and it just helps you become a better person overall, to where you know how to act, how you're supposed to act, how to become a better human being overall, how to just relate with everyone and know what it is to be right and wrong, indifferent, have morals, that whole gamut. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is James Maxwell. I'm a 1981. I think I'm the oldest of us all. Give you a little information behind us. I don't think we all ever talked about we was all going in the 82nd, did we? Had military careers, so it just ended up like that. If you look, I was silly enough to hang around. I did 21 years. After we came back from Iraq, I was as a team sergeant on a Special Forces A team, and they asked me if I was going to hang around. I said yes. And I said there was two ways you was going to get me out of here. I said either I was going to retire or you was going to carry me out of here. That's how much I love my country. The one thing I have to say this morning is never take anything for granted. It's just like Mr. Hickory Morton that spoke this morning. I don't know about you guys. I didn't know he was a Chosun Marine. You never know who you're going to be sitting next to or what their background is. You always need to respect people, and that's another thing I learned in the military was respect everyone, no matter what. I'd also like for you, ma'am, to stand up. Yes, ma'am. And I'd like for my wife to stand up. And just a quick story. Here's the deal. We were coming back from Iraq. We were coming home on leave for myself. Me and my wife was sitting in the truck, we was driving down Highway 40 coming back, Interstate 40 coming back from Tennessee. And I said, hey, let's add up how much I've been deployed and everything. At that time, we'd been married 7 years. I'd been deployed 4 years out of 7 at that time. So please give a hand to the military wives. They're the ones that really serve us. Because I put my wife through a lot. So thank you for having us this morning.
Good morning. My name is Richard Ferris. I'm a 1983 graduate of Springdale High School also. When I joined the military in 1983 and went to basic training, I made a notice that the vast majority of my drill sergeants were Vietnam veterans. These gentlemen had a great influence on my life, as I'm sure the drill sergeants did on these guys' lives. One thing that I noticed about them is they were weathered men, they were hard men. And I learned later in life, in college, and just living life out once I exited the military, that these gentlemen weren't treated very well when they came back from Vietnam. Unlike World War I, World War II, the Korean War, America welcomed them a little bit better. When it came to Vietnam, they didn't get that, so when they came home. So my challenge to you, and what I would tell my 18-year-old self, is to take the time to recognize all veterans and take the time to especially recognize Vietnam veterans. Those gentlemen had it tough, okay? If you see one today, if you see one tomorrow, at any time, go up to them, thank them, look them in the eye, shake their hand. Tell them thank you for your service, and if you were treated difficultly or you were not treated the best in the world, I'm sorry. And give them your blessings, okay? Do that for me. All right. I'm going to end this by saying a wise old man told me one time, he said, son, you get the hint who the wise old man was? He said there's two things that no one can ever take away from you. One is a college degree. I hope if you gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, that don't pick to go in the military, that you go to college and you continue in college. It's something you'll have for the rest of your life. No one can take it away from you. If you go in the military, it's the same way. You're a veteran for life. You're a brother for life. So I say to my fellow veterans, happy Veterans Day. God bless all of y'all, and God bless America. Thank you.
At this time, we would like to thank each of you for sharing your story with us. We are honored to have you guys here today. Presenting a special thank you is our very own Har-Ber High recruiter, Sergeant Brown. Now let's give a round of applause to recognize all the veterans that are in our audience. On behalf of Har-Ber East, thank you all for attending today.
Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Dismissed to second period.